Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and stay tuned by clicking the bell icon. 14 huge Coronation Street spoilers for next week. Next week's Coronation Street will see Carla make a huge discovery about Stephen, while Tyrone is interviewed by the police after his car was involved in a hit-and-run incident. Meanwhile, Paul and Billy tie the knot. Here's a look at 14 big moments coming up. 1. Jenny shoots down Stephen's plans. With Leo's murder investigation underway, Stephen tries to convince Jenny that their upcoming trip to Thailand could be a permanent move instead. Although Jenny sees the appeal in a move, she admits that it's a pipe dream. Hoping to change her mind, Stephen informs her that his friend in Thailand can secure Jenny a job managing his bar. Jenny refuses to budge, but soon realizes how determined Stephen is about starting over in Thailand. 2. Carla realizes Stephen has been drugging her. Carla is shocked when she receives a letter from the clinic, confirming traces of LSD in her hair sample. She reveals her suspicion that Rufus was responsible to Peter, but after checking the dates of her illness, realizes they don't add up. At the factory, Carla is unimpressed when she tastes some coffee made by Michael. When Michael apologizes and admits that Stephen or Sarah normally makes it, things finally click for Carla, and she realizes that Stephen has been drugging her. 3. Carla confronts Stephen. Carla confronts Stephen and makes it clear that she knows he has been drugging her and is intent on proving it. However, Carla's plans to out Stephen grind to a halt when D.S. Swain points out that Carla's accusation is just speculation and that she has no evidence. 4. Stephen plots his getaway. With the net closing in, Stephen plans his next steps. Sarah learns of his possible move to Thailand and reminds him that he still needs to pay back Audrey the money for the house. Later, Stephen receives a further shock when he recognizes the same ringtone he heard by the canal where he placed Teddy's body, and is horrified to discover that Tim must have followed him. After thinking it over, Jenny reveals that she's prepared to move to Thailand with Stephen. 5. Tyrone assumes the worst. Cassie's nose is put out of joint when she's instructed to keep quiet at the meeting with the taxi firm and let everyone else do the talking. However, the meeting plans are derailed when the police arrive and inform Tyrone that they believe his car was involved in a hit and run. Later, Tyrone confronts Cassie about her whereabouts on the day of the incident. Cassie denies any involvement, but Evelyn doesn't believe a word of it. 6. Kevin reaches out to Cassie. Cassie drowns her sorrows after Tyrone's accusations, and when Kevin finds her in a bad state, he offers to let her spend the night at number 13. The next day, Cassie makes out to Tyrone that she spent the night at a friend's place. Meanwhile, Kevin reveals to Abby that he let Cassie stay over and that she wants to keep it a secret from Tyrone. Cassie thanks Kevin for his kindness, and it becomes clear that she has grown fond of him. 7. Paul and Billy get married. It's Paul and Billy's wedding day, and with Bernie and Gemma's assistance, Paul walks down the aisle to meet Billy. The couple exchange vows and are married. However, after the ceremony, Billy is shocked to learn that Paul has been keeping a secret from him. 8. Billy loses his temper. Billy and Paul enlist Ed's help when Paul's new wheelchair arrives, but it won't fit through the doorway to the flat. Meanwhile, Billy receives well wishes from various members of the parish, but is hurt when one of his parishioners makes it clear he doesn't approve of Billy's marriage. Billy sees red and blasts the parishioner by revealing that his new husband is dying, unaware that Paul has heard the exchange. 9. Addie lashes out at Dev. Asha and Chesney are horrified to find the door to the kebab shop smashed open. After inspecting the scene, Chesney discovers a snow globe, and Dev recognizes it as Addie's. Asha warns her brother that Dev knows he's responsible for vandalizing the shop. When the police arrive to interview Addie, Dev makes out it was a family matter and there's no need for police involvement. Furious, Addie accuses Dev of reporting him. Asha tries to mend things. Asha calls by the flat and informs Addie that Dev wasn't responsible for calling the police. It was Chesney instead. Despite Asha's news, Addie is in no mood to forgive Dev and tells Asha that Dev tried to bribe Courtney with £5,000 to dump him. After Asha leaves, Courtney tells Addie she's proud of him for standing up to his family. 11. Liam faces peer pressure from Mason. Liam struggles with his asthma while hanging out with Dylan and Mason. Gary is unimpressed to overhear Mason poking fun at Liam's condition. Later in the week, Liam reluctantly joins in with Mason and Dylan when they decide to sky school. Mason reveals some disposable vapes and pressures the pair to join in. When Liam is forced to try the vape, he suffers an asthma attack. Mason makes a hasty exit while Dylan calls an ambulance. 12. Mason threatens Liam. Maria and Gary rush to the hospital to check on Liam. Gary tells Maria that Mason is a member of the notoriously dodgy Ratcliffe family and that Liam needs to keep his distance. Maria confronts Dylan and Mason and demands the truth about what happened with Liam. Mason plays it cool and makes out he had nothing to do with it. Later, Liam receives a threatening message from Mason warning him to keep quiet. 13. Dylan sees Mason's true colors. In a bid to avoid seeing Mason again, Liam pretends he's sick to avoid school. Meanwhile, Dylan is hurt when Mason shows off in front of his mates and makes jokes about Dylan's dad being gay. Will he confront the bully? 14. Stu tries to dig up dirt on Dom. Yasmin arrives home from Pakistan and is horrified to learn that Dom tried to extort cash from Stu in exchange for Eliza. When Dom and Eliza pay a visit to number 6, Dom refuses to allow the youngster to stay for tea and insists she pack the rest of her things. Yasmin tries to reassure Stu that Eliza will come home once the novelty of living with Dom has worn off, but Stu isn't so sure and hires a private investigator to look into Dom's past. If you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and share.